A rare winter storm is expected to hit our area in just a few hours. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, it may feel like spring today, but soon all of that could change. A major snowstorm is expected to coat the region with several inches. CTV's Mikea Turner is standing by in Largo with details on how transportation officials and residents are preparing.
I'm standing here just outside of the Advanced Auto Parts store here in Largo Town Center, where a couple of customers have already started stocking up on a few winter preparation essentials. Now, the National Weather Service issued the region's winter storm watch that's supposed to take effect tonight at 6 p.m. and last up until tomorrow evening. Transportation officials say that they are already planning ahead.
What we're doing in Prince George's County is we're bringing in a full crew at 2 a.m., which means we'll have over 250 vehicles ready to deploy and over 300 employees working, and they'll work a 12-hour shift, and then sometime during tomorrow morning we'll determine whether or not we need to bring in another full shift at 2 p.m. or bring in a modified shift. It just depends upon how much snow we get, which is projected to be between 4 to 8 inches.
Now, given that warning, you think that customers here at the Shoppers in Largo would be scrambling in and out of these stores, but surprisingly, that's not the case.
I'm not preparing for it because, if you look at today, it's like 50-some degrees. Whenever we prepare for it, it never comes.
I was just out doing a little bit of shopping, but I really don't think we're going to get very much snow because we haven't had too much in the last 2 years. And I'm not really worried about it.
What do you think about this 4 to 8 inches of accumulation that we're expecting?
Well, I don't know what to expect, really. I just want to be prepared.
Now, Prince George's Homeland Security and Emergency Management offered a couple tips that you viewers can take heed to before, during, and after the storm. They said that before the storm, you should get an emergency preparedness kit that includes food items, shovels, salt. Also, they say to have rock salt on hand to melt the ice on your driveways, your sidewalks. You don't want to slip. They ask you to turn the refrigerator and freezer to the coldest setting in case of a power outage. You want to preserve that food and to make sure that your vehicles are gassed up. During the storm, you can also watch for signs of frostbite. That includes numbness or blisters. You can watch for signs of hypothermia. That involves weakness, dizziness, slurred speech. And you can also avoid lighting candles. They ask that you use flashlights instead. Now, after the storm, officials encourage you to report hazards like downed power lines and to avoid puddles that may have downed wires in or near them. In Largo, I'm Mikea Turner, CTV News.
And you can stay updated with real-time notifications by logging on to notifyme.PrinceGeorgesCountyMD.GOV, or you can text 411-912.
Well, hundreds of gun rights supporters came to Annapolis today for a Second Amendment rally on Lawyers Mall. The House of Delegates heard testimony on a number of gun-related bills, including the Maryland Firearms Safety Act bill, which would require a license to purchase a handgun. The legislation would also ban the sale of assault-style rifles and limit the size of magazines. We spoke with one police chief from the Eastern Shore who says he's particularly concerned about House Bill 397, which would prohibit anyone from carrying a weapon on school property, including police officers.
If I was off duty and went to my child's school to do something, I couldn't carry my firearm because of the way the law is written now. Although it also precludes me from acting as a police officer if something was to happen. So we need to address that.
I'm a collector. I'm a shooter. I've been doing it since I was 5 years old. And people just are getting the wrong impression about these guns.
The hearings are expected to last well into the evening. Meanwhile, Governor Martin O'Malley announces his proposal to raise money for transportation. O'Malley's plan would raise the gas tax by 2% starting this July. The tax would then increase to 4% in July 2014. He also wants to reduce the current excise tax by 5 cents from 23.5 5 cents to 18.5 cents. The new taxes are estimated to bring in more than $800 million by 2018. One Republican says
there is no need whatsoever for additional revenue to take care of our highways. We have $1 billion that's been stolen from the fund. Put the money back in the fund, stop stealing the money, and then there won't be an issue. I find it somewhat disingenuous that we could take the money out of a dedicated fund, spend it somewhere else, and then plead that we have potholes in front of your house, and if you want them fixed, you have to let us hit you with all these additional taxes. The most insidious.
Now, supporters say Maryland has not raised its gas tax since 1993, and there is a desperate need for infrastructure repairs around the state.
Each year, thousands of students across the country apply to go to college, but some schools are now requiring students to hand in more than just an application. Many have asked student athletes and other prospective applicants to turn in their passwords to private accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Today, the American Civil Liberties Union testified in Annapolis on a bill that would prohibit academic institutions from doing that.
Well, what we have seen across the country is examples of where coaches require their students to turn over their social media passwords so they control through their Facebook pages, they control through their private communications to see if the student is doing anything that would otherwise embarrass the university. Today's students live in an online world. They don't handwrite letters, they don't make hard copy scrapbooks, and so what this bill would do is protect those private communications.
And you may recall last year, Maryland became the first state in the nation to prohibit employers from getting information on your personal internet accounts.